Welcome to Not Work Related.
A podcast about everything we didn't have to clear with HR this week.
We're your not business casual hosts,
Robin
and Mike.
We've got some things we'd like to discuss.
Off the clock.
Welcome back to Not Work Related. This is episode 3. Thank you everyone that tuned in last week to our first episode without Mike. Just me and Mike 2.0 here. Fly Mike Fly. Any of the episodes that Mike's not in, they're going to be flagged with Where's Mike. So if you see Where's Mike, you know I'm just as confused as you are. Just kidding. He was going to jump in remotely this week, but it didn't work out. He should be back next week, but we carry on.
What's good?
It was raining in Southern California, which meant it was snowing up in Big Bear. I mean, that 2-lane winding road that you take that makes everyone nauseous, it was like foggy, can barely see the car in front of you. Then it was raining, can barely see the guardrail next to you, to them enforcing snow chains. And I'm actually glad they did, because, I mean, like right before the signs were popping up about enforcing snow chains, I went to stop and it was like, so yeah, they were definitely needed. I mean, I have all-wheel drive, but I didn't have snow tires. So they were definitely needed. It was pretty wild up there, just fully snowing the whole time. We stayed in the Live Your Fairy Tale Castlewood Cottages. I mean, if you're not familiar with them, it's up in Big Bear Lake. They're like these unique themed cabins. Their office is in the front. It's right off of, Big Bear and Main. It also has like kind of to the theme cabin type of like gift shop where you can buy like, candles, crystals, costumes, all that kind of stuff. And they're right near the Big Bear Village, so near like the ski slopes. Their office is only open from 10 to 5. So if you do need like after hours, be prepared to request it ahead of time. We had to. So they have a common area in the center of the property. It's got a gazebo. It's got a ping pong table. It's got this kind of really cool carved like wooden swing for two. It's got a bunch of benches. Then it has like a water mill with like, water areas with like all this kind of like woodland creatures here and there and mushrooms and that's like a really cool decoration. And then it has the fuzziest HOA rep ever. There's this cat, I forget his name, it's like Galahad or something. And this little cat just kind of wanders the property, just greeting the guests, kind of checking in with everybody, make sure no one's getting out of hand, everyone's obeying the rules. So he's kind of the law in that town. It's pretty freaking cute. So their cabin themes range from, they have the woodland treehouse, they have the castle garden, they have captain's quarters, Robin and Marion, native forest, Anthony and Cleopatra, the Haunted Manor. So, I mean, good variety, like really, really cool. They go all out. And there's the Enchanted Forest. It's like a fairy wonderland. And then there's the cabin that I stayed in, the King Arthur. So you just pull in, park, and it's right there on the right. Outside they have like a bench where you can sit if you want to enjoy the mountain air. When you first walk through the wooden cabin door, to your left, there's this stone and flower and night banner decorated jacuzzi hot tub with some pretty powerful jets that comfortably fits 2 people. Right next to that, you have a queen's outfit and a king's outfit. And we're talking like Ren Fair quality costumes that you can put on and have fun with. Next to that, there's like a nightstand, no pun intended, with like a diary where you could like kind of talk about your stay there, and you can kind of read about other people's stays there. Then next to that, there's a queen size half canopy bed. And that also has like the flowers and the knight's banner, like decorations. Then you turn to the right of the door and you have this ice maker and water filter. Then next to that, there's the wood burning fireplace. It's got a really cool like knight's shield on it with two swords crossing into it. And it's got two, king and queen, like Gothic metal chalices. And these are like heavy duty. Like you pick them up, you didn't expect them to be as sturdy and heavy as they were. Like you could drop them, no problem. These were proper goblets. And then next to that, you have a, medieval style wooden table and chairs. So you can enjoy your meals and drinks there. Then next to that, you see a knight's banner hanging. When you pull that to the side, it's the kitchenette. So you have the, fridge, the microwave, the coffee maker, there's a TV with cable and all that kind of stuff. Go a little further, there's the sink, the hair dryer, mirror, all that. Open that door to the left, and there's two bathrobes hanging, plenty of towels, big spacious shower, all that. So it's really cool. Like it was fun. Definitely would recommend it for sure. And they have other amenities you can pay for. They have a turn down service. They have gift baskets, chocolate dipped strawberries, and in-room massages. So, if that sounds like your cup of tea, I highly recommend checking it out. And it's easily like less than a 10-minute walk to any place to like eat, drink, shop, all that stuff. So you don't even have to drive around if you don't want to. And then, right by the ski slopes, like I said, and then also the village. Those two things you would drive to. But there are some local spots to check out, too, if you just want to go for a quick walk and back. So, it was a great time. It was a great birthday little trip there. So that was super cool.
That was close.
Ice. Dun, 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 dun. I used to go to Big Bear this time of year, every year. Me and some buddies would go up for either a week or a weekend. It just depended on, what everybody's schedules were like. But we would just, snowboard all day. Then depending on, what group we had, we would either go back to the cabin and chill and do stuff there, or we'd go out on the, the Big Bear Strip, whatever you want to call it. And grab some drinks, play some games, all that kind of stuff. There's plenty to do out there. So it just depended on what vibe we were looking for. And then we just go back out and do it the next day. And the group we all I have my own snowboard, I have my own wax, boots, bindings, all that stuff. Most of the other guys did too. So really you're just paying for a lift ticket and the cabin that you're staying in. So it makes it really affordable. If you plan on going snowboarding on any kind of semi-regular basis, highly recommend buying your own stuff. The daily rentals, they add up pretty quick and you don't walk away with anything. You have to return it. Whereas if you buy your stuff and it doesn't really take up that much space to store it, you really get your value for sure. All right, so we would go to bigbearcoolcabins.com. Highly recommend this website. It has what seems like every cabin in Big Bear on there. The inventory is insane. Everything you're looking for. So depending on, like I said, what kind of trip you're going, what kind of group you have with you, you can get, some little one-story Bear in the Woods, classic Big Bear decor cabin where it's not much to it, real classic, homey style. And then, just go back out and hit the slopes. Or you can get, if you plan on staying in the cabin more and not really going out, so you want it to be more of a hosting type cabin, they have them there too, like most up-to-date cabins where, you walk in and it can be 2-3 stories depending on how many people you have. Plenty of parking outside, big driveway, go in, big, huge open living room with the fireplace, the TV, plenty of seating, big open area for hosting. Go out on the back patio, and they'll have a grill where you can cook, nice little backyard, maybe sloped if you want to go slide down it. Then have a big updated kitchen for cooking with plenty of storage, like for Costco size amounts of food and drinks, no problem. Go upstairs, plenty of bedrooms with like real like jacuzzi type bathtubs in there. There'll be like a common like game room where it'll have a pool table, a card table, a game console hooked up, probably an arcade, an area where you can kind of have like a bar type thing set up, a foosball table. Like they're really cool cabins that they live up to the name. So definitely recommend checking that out. And one time we had an issue with one of the cabins, and they're really cool if you contact them about finding you another cabin on their immense inventory that matches what you're staying in, and then they will contact the cabin owner directly and deal with them so that you can still enjoy your stay, don't have to kind of fuss with the owner. So yeah, great experience always with Big Bear Cool Cabins. So mostly when we go snowboarding, we go to Snow Summit. It's on like 240 acres. It has like 31 runs that you can use, 14 lifts that'll take you up to the runs. It's best to go when it's snowing or when it just recently snowed. They have signs up when it's not snowing that say man-made snow is real snow. It's just man-made, but you can tell the difference. So it's best to go when it's real snow. But like I said, they have the man-made option as well. So Snow Summit, that's the go-to. And there's these two runs that are next to each other. So you take the same lift for both of them. You either go right for this one or left for this one. And I like the first part of this one and the second part of this one. And so I was going up and I was like, yeah, I want to do this one next, but I don't like the first part of it. And as I was kind of having this like internal debate about it, I see this maintenance path that connects the two runs. And I'm thinking, because like maintenance, there's like a maintenance truck like driving through it to get from this run to this run to do something. So I was like, I could start here, the part I like better, and then cut through that maintenance path and then finish over here. And that would be the perfect run. So excited to try this out. So I start over here, I'm going down, I'm so pumped, I'm like, the adrenaline's running, and I totally missed the maintenance path the first time. So I had to get to the bottom, get on the lift, go back up, and as I'm going up on the lift, I'm looking for like landmarks so I can go like, that's where it's going to be. Make sure you slow down when you get there so you don't miss it again. So I got it all lined up. I'm going down. I slow down at the right spot this time and turn over to cut through the maintenance path. Now, I think they normally have like a chain link on it, but because they were actively using it at the time, it was like down. So I cut through, and this is like midday, right? So what from the lift looked like tree shadows, it actually wasn't. Those were dark spots, which is ice. So when I hit these dark spots, ice, oh baby, started spinning, out of control, went face first into the snow that they had scooped off of the path, just hands, face, like right into the snow. Got snow everywhere, just snow in all my stuff. So I unclipped my board, got off the maintenance path, got onto the run, shaking out snow out of all my clothes. And of course it's like actively snowing. So it's like 20, 30 degrees outside. So this melting snow, it makes you wet, makes the inside of your clothes wet. And I'm trying to get it all out. This freezing cold air is hitting it. So I got sick. Totally sick. That's the least thing that could have happened, really. There were other stuff around that maintenance path that I could have hit besides a pile of snow. I could have broken an arm or worse. So I got lucky. Turns out maintenance paths are not for you. They're actually for maintenance. So I would not recommend trying that. But yeah, thankfully I had my buddy. He was feeding me NyQuil, feeding me soup, laying in bed, trying to get better so I could get back on the run the next day instead of on a stretcher in an ambulance. So yeah, dodged one there for sure.
Pet peeve of the week.
When you go to use the toilet, especially a more urgent visit, and someone used all the toilet paper. And I'm talking they like clean this thing. Like there's no meat left on this bone. Like vultures would be impressed with the job they did. There's no evidence that there was ever hundreds of lavender scented sheets attached to this brown paperboard roll. This thing is clean. Now you're trying to guess like what else in this room would be suitable for me to use until I can get to a completely different room so I can refill this toilet paper roll. And they know they used the last of it. The only way they didn't know that they grabbed the last of the toilet paper would be if they had their eyes closed the whole time. And that would mean that they grabbed the toilet paper, wiped with the toilet paper, and flushed the toilet paper without looking even once. That's savage. Seriously? Like, there's something primal in you, like scary even. In that scenario, yeah, you wouldn't know you used the last of the toilet paper, but you also wouldn't know if the toilet paper did its job, if the toilet did its job. So technically, you should be fired from that bathroom. You do not know how to run things in there. And we're getting complaints, so we're going to need you to make other plans. If nature calls for you here again, I'm going to say you took another opportunity somewhere else. I don't know if anybody picked up on that, but I buy lavender scented toilet paper. The girls liked it. The neighbors liked it. Now we're known for it. If they walk into our bathroom and it doesn't smell like it's lavender blooming season, they get immediately concerned. They come out like, "Are you guys okay? Anything you want to talk about?" If you haven't tried, no, you can't find lavender scented toilet paper everywhere. I'm looking at you, Target, Rite Aid, and Vons. Why do I have to go to Lowe's, Big Lots, and Walmart before you? Why didn't the lavender scented toilet paper cross the road? Because it got stuck in a crack. All I'm saying is, be careful what you're known for. And if you use the last of something, replace it. Or if you don't know where it is, at least tell somebody. Thank you.
What a dive.
Kitsch Bar in the Baker Street Village in Costa Mesa. They are open from 6 p.m. to 2 a.m. Do not fall for what you see online. They do not open at 5 p.m. It's 6 p.m. to 2 a.m. They have a daily happy hour from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. Plenty of parking. Now, I say plenty of parking, and you pull into their parking lot, and you're like, where is all this parking? Because it's a pretty small parking lot that they're in. But then across the street on Bear, there is another parking lot you can use, and it's just a little walk to get over. They redid their bar to enhance the experience. They totally redid the design inside. You walk in, there's these red kind of half, like these moon booths, real comfy that you can get in with a table. They got the mirrors behind them with like mounted lights, chandeliers above your head. Then you pull up to the bar and they have these real little comfy chairs that you can sit in at the bar. Then you go around the corner, more chandeliers, more of these red moon booths with tables, more kind of mood lighting on the walls. Then they have the DJ booth, kind of like an area where you could dance and sing. Then they have kind of like a claw machine where you can play games on. They had an arcade over there too. And it's like the bathroom area right there. And then there's another side of the bar because it's like a walk around bar. So they have like the comfy seats here, and then they have the normal standard like bar stools around this side. It's a big bar. They don't do food, so they only do drinks. So that's what you're there for. And they do have promo nights. So besides just like fundraisers and like kind of holiday themed events, they also have trivia night on Tuesdays at 7 p.m. They have karaoke on Wednesday nights. And then they have, like, on the weekends, they'll have a DJ there in the evening spinning stuff. So, but when the DJ's not there, the music is still cool. It's kind of vibey music, kind of fits the theme because they have a lot of like red lighting. Then some of the TVs have fireplaces kind of showing on there, kind of crackling away. And then the other TVs will have kind of like experiences on them where it's like lights kind of zooming in and fading out like you're going down a road and stuff. So it's real kind of setting a mood in there. It's got a whole tone to it. A lot of purples and reds and stuff. Super cool though. Very, very interesting. And then, of course, when there's games on, it's a totally different experience. Of course, the TVs have actual games on them. There's plenty of TVs, so they'll be able to put different games on different TVs. You'll be able to see them all. And with the mirrors and stuff, it doesn't matter where you are. You'll be able to see whatever TV you're trying to see. They had a funny sign, too, which I liked at the bar. It said, "Football fans don't drink skinny cans." I agree with that. Yeah. Yeah. And when they have their theme nights, like the karaoke and stuff like that, there's potentially a raffle. It's not guaranteed. It's not every time, but sometimes they'll do a raffle. So that's pretty cool. Real friendly service. Bartender's name was Brittany. She's very nice, very cool. There's people that have been going there since before she was there, before the owner owned it. I mean, the people that are walking in, she's calling out by name. Like literally every person that walked in, "Hi so-and-so, hi so-and-so." So very friendly, very welcoming. Since they don't have food, they got to really nail their drinks. The cocktails looked really good with decorations and everything. They have a couple drafts. They had an amber, a blonde, an IPA, stuff like that. Then they had bottled drinks as well. They don't do wine by the glass. They do twist off wine bottles. So if you don't finish it, you can just take it home. They are coming out with a new drink menu soon. And when I ordered, Brittany was practicing one as we speak. So, and that one looked cool too. Their happy hour was $3 beers. That's bottle or draft. It's $3 seltzers, $5 well. And then you can get 2 of those twist off wine bottles for $12. So basically, happy hour is like half price. So for 2 hours, you can get half price. So, you can get like a cocktail and a beer for like $10 instead of $20. So great happy hour. It can get crowded later in the evening or on those special promo nights. So you want to get there early if possible. I mean, we're talking, it could be like 2, 3, rows deep at the bar from people ordering because people are singing, people are dancing, all that kind of thing. But respectful clientele because everybody pretty much knew each other. They were all socializing, meeting up with each other there. It was very respectful. So it'll be a good time. It should be a pain-free night over there. It used to be a Korean massage parlor. Then somehow Google had it flagged as a hookah bar. So people were going in there trying to smoke hookah. I mean, looking at the kind of layout, I was kind of joking that it looked like it could be a hookah bar. So that's pretty ironic. But it is not. They just do drinks. But also Maps was kind of getting me turned around too, because when I got in the parking lot, it said go left, But on the left, it was just kind of like a vape shop and a liquor store and some other things. But they're on the right. So just look for the K. Look for the big K. The K stands for Kitsch. So just look for the K. And if you're going there Valentine's Day night, they will definitely have the karaoke. They will definitely have some Valentine's drinks with all the red and, big booths and comfy chairs and stuff like that. They'll definitely have the Valentine's Day vibe in there. So that'd be a good place to grab drinks on Valentine's Day. Now, if you're expecting the people like, Britney to kind of lean in and do like some Britney Spears or something, oops. No, it's going to be like Whitesnake and Bon Jovi, and I'm totally good with that. So this should be a fun spot to enjoy your Valentine's Day. Go to Kitsch Bar for sure.
There's a hole in that wall.
Frank's Philadelphia on Fairview in Costa Mesa. Now, this guy wanted to go to Frank's Philadelphia for sure. It's definitely Eagles friendly. And they're known for their hoagies and their cheesesteak. So, yeah. In heaven for sure. They're open 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. every day. They have dine-in, takeout, catering. They serve breakfast sandwiches all day. Their steak sandwiches, they taste like they're fresh off a grill in Philly, delivered to Frank's sandwich table. And I can say that because I go to Pennsylvania like every other year. So they start with the Italian roll. Then they have lettuce, tomato, pickles, onions, bell peppers, banana peppers, cheese, and thinly sliced meat. I did it Frank's Choice because you can do it the regular way or you can do it Frank's Choice. And I picked Frank's because that was what was recommended. So there were some extra things that were added because it was Frank's Choice. So good though, so delicious. Just juicy, soft bread, easy to kind of squeeze and eat, and it was just so flavorful and delicious. I loved it for sure. You can get it as a meal. So the sandwiches come as 6-inch, 8-inch, and 10-inch. Those are the three sizes you can get it in. And then you can get it with tasty cakes or chips, and you can get it with a Hank's soda. So it's a good meal, very tasty. And I love Pennsylvania. You can tell from all the wall decor. Frank does too. So, me and this guy felt right at home. Absolutely. A lot of Eagle stuff on the walls, a lot of Phillies stuff on the walls, 76ers, just everywhere. So it was a cool little shop. Very tasty though, so good. I definitely would go back, get another sandwich. And Kobe Bryant, he's from Philly, so they had, in honor, because it was the Kobe Bryant statue unveiling, they were playing some Kobe Bryant highlights, so that was really cool. If you didn't get to see the statue, it's out in front of the Crypto.com arena, which used to be Staples Center. Right now, it shows him pointing up right after he scored the 81 points in a game. That was a really cool thing that he did, obviously. But he did it after eating a whole pizza, which is wild. But he, obviously the conditioning is a little different. But, if I eat a whole pizza, I don't see myself dropping 81 on anyone. But he was different. That's very cool. Very cool. They're going to do 3 statues. This is the first one. I liked what his wife Vanessa said, where she was like, Kobe picked the pose, so if you don't like it, tough. So this was his number 8 pose, was pointing up after he scored 81. We don't know what the 24 pose is going to be, or the pose with him and Gigi. But I'm really excited to see all of them. It was a really cool game, even though they lost by 8. It was a good game. They had a chance to win that game against the Nuggets. All the fans in attendance got a really cool Kobe Bryant jersey, and it had the number 8 on it. It was the black jersey, and then it had the heart 2 on it for Gigi. So very cool. 2/8/24. That was exciting. It was a good night. But that was very cool that they had that playing. That was fun. So check out Frank's. Delicious.
Our top 5.
In the spirit of the upcoming holiday, Valentine's Day, for top 5, it's going to be top 5 power couples. And then since everybody you either are all in on Valentine's Day or you're anti-Valentine's Day because you don't have a date or, whatever reason, you're anti-Valentine's Day. So we're doing an anti-power couple list as well. Top 5. So here we go. So this is going to be Valentine's Day by the decade. First one, 1980s. Goldie Hawn and Kurt Russell. They met on set when she was 21 and he was 16. So she felt, he was too young for her. Then they met up again later in another movie, but at that point, they were both like, we don't want to date another actor, so they didn't go for it again, but still said there's something there. Like, they felt like they like each other. So then third time was a charm. They actually got together, and that was in 1983. That's when they started dating. 1986, they had their first son. They had their son. And in 1987, they co-starred in the very popular rom-com Overboard. It's pretty famous. It's kind of where a lot of people, I think, picture those two as in that movie. It's really funny. They never married, but no biggie. They're still together, going strong 40 years later. 1990s, that would be David and Victoria Beckham. So they called it love at first sight. So Victoria was at the height of her Spice Girls fame. She was a singer-dancer in that. And she met David in the Manchester United Players Lounge. They were engaged in 1998. They married in 1999. And the Spice Girl and the soccer star had 4 kids together. And they're still doing their thing 25 years later. 2000s, Beyonce and Jay-Z. Those music stars met in 2000, and Beyonce was 18, Jay-Z was 30. They were rumored to start dating, I think a year later. In 2003, Jay-Z was featured on Beyonce's Crazy in Love track, but still no formal announcement that they were together. They worked together several more times before they finally married in 2008. Their daughter, Blue Ivy, was born in 2012. Then they had the twins, Rumi and Sir, in 2017. And their marriage is doing well 16 years later. 2010s, that would be Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds. The only good thing to come out of 2010, Green Lantern, the movie, was the fact that Ryan Reynolds and Blake Lively met on set. That's the one positive. They didn't start dating until a year later in 2011. They secretly married each other in September of 2012. They have 4 kids together. The most recent was early last year. They are quite private people, which I can relate to, but they're also very open in their support of each other, usually in kind of a hilarious, like roasting type fashion. It's great seeing 2 people building what they're building together, but still like humbling each other. They're the best. 2020s, Kourtney Kardashian and Travis Barker. So Kourtney is mostly known for keeping up with the Kardashians, I would say, for like a casual fan. And Travis Barker as well, for a casual fan, is mostly known for being the drummer of Blink-182. But both of them do plenty of other things with their talents, their money, and their time. they have known each other for years, but they didn't start dating until early 2021. Travis proposed to Courtney in October of that same year, and they were married in May of 2022. And then Courtney held up a sign at a recent Blink-182 show announcing that she was pregnant. So they're doing good. Anti-Valentine's Day power couples. Indiana Jones and the museum. Everything that he cares about and lives to protect, he wants in that museum. And anytime he catches a criminal, stealing an artifact, he reminds them that that belongs in the museum. And they always reply back, "So do you." Yeah, you do. Get in there, Indy. Back to the Future's Marty McFly and his mom, Lorraine. Sci-fi has warned us about going back in time. Because anything you change in the past, whether it was intentional or whether you were just, doing a kind gesture or let some kind of future idea slip out, it can affect what happens in the future. The movie explains that Marty's dad, George, was hit by a car. And when Lorraine was taking care of him, that's when she fell in love with him. So when Marty goes back in time and he's the one that gets hit by the car, history repeating itself, Lorraine, his mom, fell in love with him instead. That's what I'm talking about. Unexpected things will happen when you go back and change the past. So here he is with his 17-year-old, smoking tobacco, drinking booze, smooching boys in the car mom, which was kind of mind-shattering for him because, she was always like, "I didn't do this when I was a kid, so you guys can't be alone, with, girls in the car, stuff like that." And he's like, okay. So to avoid, being erased from existence along with his two siblings, since she ended up falling for him instead of his actual dad, he kind of devised a plan with his dad and was like, "You know what, I'm going to pretend to, take advantage of her in the car and then you come and rescue her," because he knows that his mom really values a guy that can protect her and stand up for her. So that was his way of, kind of righting the ship. So they're at the Hill Valley Enchanted Under the Sea dance. Now, this is where Lorraine and his dad, George, originally had their first date and shared their first kiss. Unfortunately, Lorraine surprise kissed Marty in this moment. But luckily, she was like, "Oh, no, this is like kissing a family member," and decided that she wasn't into it, thankfully. So that took care of that. So then someone comes to the door and Marty's thinking, here it is. Here's my, dad coming. But it was actually the school bully, Biff Tannen. So Biff's friends, punch Marty, shove him in a trunk. And so then Biff gets into the car to kind of like, force his affections on Lorraine. And that's when George shows up. Surprised that it is an actual rescue now. So Biff tells George to beat it. And George kind of like nervously replies like, "No, Biff, you beat it. You leave her alone." So Biff grabs George's hand and, kind of squeezing it. You can see George is in pain. He's struggling. Lorraine tries to get in there and stop Biff. Biff knocks her to the floor and starts laughing. And that fills George with this rage. And with his free hand, he just puts it in a fist and just swings at Biff with everything he has. Just knocks Biff out cold. And that kind of put history back on track right there, because Lorraine instantly fell in love with him, with this new George. They still had their date. They still had their first kiss. So that got everything back on track. And this new storyline with this more confident and powerful George, like that really helped with their family dynamic in the future and their family's mental health, especially Lorraine's, but I doubt for Marty's with all he experienced in the past with his mom. Especially because he chose the name of Calvin Klein. Like, because you can't go back in time and say you're Marty McFly. So he chose the name Calvin Klein. And so when you fast forward to the future, what time is it? It's 1985, right? That's when it's set in. What happened in 1985? Well, besides all the underwear Calvin Klein ads that were really popular at the time, everywhere, just constantly reminding Marty, 1985 is when Calvin Klein came out with their huge fragrance, Obsession, thereby squeezing citrus in the wound of his past. Captain Jack Sparrow and his ship, the Black Pearl. What is a captain without a ship? Sparrow was the original captain of the Pearl. That ship cost him everything. Being separated from the Pearl got him branded a pirate. Raising her from the bottom of the ocean got him marked for death. He used a compass that only points towards what your heart most desires to find her, and risked being sent to Davy Jones' locker to be able to be her captain for an agreed upon 13 years. 2 years into that, his first mate Barbossa had a mutiny, overthrew him, and marooned him on an island. He never felt more complete than when he was riding her on the open seas. Whatever floats your boat. Gollum and his precious ring. A lot of people out there think it isn't really love unless you put a ring on it. Others warn you shouldn't put a ring on it unless they're requiring it, because people, once they get you locked in, can change. They feel secure and they start to be their true selves. And that turn can be for the worse. That definitely applies to Smeagol, who once Smeagol put on that ring twisted him into Gollum. And we're talking mind and body. The ring manipulated him into going into a cave for a very long time, near the ring's intended perfect match, which was Sauron. So basically the ring was using Gollum as like a placeholder while it was pining for its true intended, match. As soon as the ring had an opportunity, it made a break for it, because the ring could grow in size or shrink in size to fit the ring bearer. So basically it made itself big, got off his finger, tried to roll away, hoping Sauron would find it. And unfortunately, Bilbo Baggins found the ring instead. Sometimes those plan Bs backfire. Mario from Super Mario Brothers and pipes. If you've played any of the Super Mario games from the Nintendo series, you know that Mario wants to get into every pipe he sees. Like, literally, he will just hop on a pipe and start squatting down on it. He'll see a pipe above him. He'll start jumping up into it. If that pipe doesn't let him in, you see a sadness on Mario. And he carries that with him until he sees the next pipe. Big, beautiful, shining cylinder, inviting him to give it another try. And oh, the joy when he finally gets in. Yeah. No thought of what if I get stuck? No, he just dives right in. Oh, this one has a bonus inside. Oh, this one takes me to another world. Oh, this one levels me up. Okay, salesman, I don't know if it's all the coins you just found in there, but I'm starting to feel a little shortchanged. I might just drop it low on a pipe or two. Take me down to Paradise Island.
This week in sports.
The Deja Vu Bowl. The Chiefs versus the Niners again. I got so bored 4 years ago when these teams met. I literally left that Super Bowl party at halftime, when J-Lo and Shakira were performing on stage, and I went to a totally different party where their TV didn't even have the game on. What were they using their TV for? They were playing video games. And no, they weren't playing Madden to try and predict whether the Chiefs or 49ers were going to win. I walked away from a party that still had plentiful food and drinks and all the things you expect from a Super Bowl party because I couldn't watch the game anymore. And here we are again. No underdog, no upset. I predicted Lions-Ravens on my last podcast here, and that's what I was hoping for. The Lions had never been. The Ravens hadn't been in over a decade. That's exciting. Now we got the Chiefs and the Niners, the two best teams who were here recently, back again. Okay. Will the game be good? Yeah, it's going to be a good game. They're very good at football, but it misses some of that, excitement that would have been if one of the other two teams have been, and the fact that we've just seen these two there recently, it just kind of kills it for me. Also, the fact that the biggest storyline, the biggest star, arguably, is someone that's not even playing in the game. Since she first went to see Travis play in September, they are saying that the NFL and the Chiefs has earned estimated over $331 million, and that's in TV, radio, print, just revenue from Taylor Swift being at the games. And she's one of music's biggest stars, and she doesn't do like meet and greets, so you never really get to see Taylor Swift. You can go to Taylor Swift shows, which are super expensive. They sell out really quick. So you're going to pay a lot to get as close to the stage as possible. But that's as close as you can get to meeting her normally. But with this, you can go to a football game and she'll be in a suite, and you could potentially be like right in front of the suite, even closer than you would be at a game, see her even clearly, when you wouldn't normally at a concert, because she's moving around, she could be on this side, that side, she could be right there in front of you. So just the thought of that is drawing a lot of attention, a lot of fans who aren't even fans of football, they're just fans of Taylor. It's making a lot of guys happy, because the girls definitely weren't into football before, but now their girls are like looking up how to follow the game. There's like a Taylor Swift guide that they came up with for Taylor Swift fans on like football rules and stuff, so they can, play along and be into the game and cheer on Travis. And it's good. Frankly, it's good for the sport. It's good for those households for sure. But obviously, the NFL got their ideal Super Bowl because Taylor Swift is in the Super Bowl. And those fans of football, those fans of Taylor, they're all going to flock to Vegas. Vegas should have got a football team earlier than they did, because who doesn't want to go to Vegas? And now there's a Super Bowl there. It's going to be awesome over there. The experience is going to be fantastic, and some fans are going to get to be pretty close to Taylor when they're experiencing all that, and that's going to be really exciting for them. She's out there cheering, she's yelling, she's singing, she's dancing, and they get to be a part of that. It's a once-in-a-lifetime deal, so I get why that's pretty popular for a lot of people. So what do the football fans who are not in Vegas, who are not going to be at Allegiant Stadium, experiencing that game, experiencing, the teams, the Taylor, all that stuff, what do they get? Well, for me personally, because I've already said I'm not too excited about the game, because I've just seen it recently, what do I get? I get to see how the other half live. Because normally I'm so excited about the football that's being played, and that's all I care about. I'm there to watch the game. But for once, I'm actually more excited about the halftime show. Usher. Usher's awesome. And he's got so much music, so many hits. He can dance, he can sing. He's very talented. I don't even know if he's got to bring anybody up. It might just be Usher. I hope it's just Usher. A lot of times they bring up somebody else and it kind of, tarnishes the whole experience. Like, he's got hits. Just let Usher do his thing. I'll take a whole Usher halftime show, please. And what food is going to be at this party? I'm all about the food. I can't wait to try all the different foods. But the game is going to be a backdrop for me, not the centerpiece. I've watched, matches, games, fights, things like that, where you're watching it on like your computer, you're watching it on a TV with an app, and there's some kind of error, some kind of connection issue, and it drops for a little bit, and you're like, what did I miss? What's happening while it's down? And then it finally comes back up, and you're like frantic to see what happened while I was gone. If this Super Bowl game, if the connection drops, if something falls out, and Usher is not on stage, I don't care. I'm not affected. I am just going back to what I was doing before, which was planning my next plate, right? What food personnel and formations do I need to attack this dynamic dip right here? And how versatile is that sauce? Oh, I'll be roaming all over this snack field. I've prepared my body mentally, physically, for that dance, the pageantry of Super Bowl Sunday.
Where do we go from here?
There you go.
Well, fingers crossed, I'll have a in-person co-host. Wouldn't that be something? Yeah, I'm getting far too comfortable sitting next to Mike 2.0 over here. But you'll have to tune in to find out. Because I don't know. Like I said, I thought this guy was going to be remoting in this week, so I don't know. We'll see. Might be time to start having some guests on the show. But thank you everyone for coming back for episode 3 of the Not Work Related podcast. Appreciate every one of you. I also appreciate your feedback and your food and bar suggestions that you've been giving. Thank you very much. We might see you out there, but mostly we are thrilled to have you here with us. So thank you from the bottom of our promo koozie-sized hearts. We'll see you next weekend.
So was it good? What's the verdict? Did I like it? Oh yeah. Man. Oh, that was really close, yeah. Oh.
Come from a sickness. Might just be the cold. The dying pain. And I do it so plump little lords like you can enjoy their summer afternoons in peace and comfort. Do you think I'm plump?